Ji-yoon was shocked upon hearing Xianxia's words. He did not know how strong this man was. Even though he looked weak, he had many good things with him. In particular, those storage rings made him want to obtain them all. That's right, but when you challenge me, you need to give 20,000 kilograms of beast meat to my G-tribe. Only then will you have the qualifications to challenge me. Ji-yoon calmed down and said, to many of the warriors of the tribe, it was not easy to weigh 20,000 kilograms of beast meat. All right, no problem. Xianxia immediately agreed. The matter of stealing the ring was over. Although many warriors had their doubts about the chief, their strength was not as strong as him. Even if they worked together, it would still be difficult for them to win against the chief, not to mention that the grandson of the chief was also very strong. When Ji Yuelan and Xianxia returned to the cave, they started to slaughter the huge bears, wanting to collect 20,000 kilograms of beast meat. We have to win. Otherwise, the beast meat will go to the patriarch and his descendants. Their family has been using up a lot of the beast meat for many years, so their strength is constantly increasing. Ji Yuelan said, your father defeated him back then. Maybe he secretly did something. Xianxia said, it's just that you guys did not see it. How could this guy defeat your father so openly? Xianxia could tell from Ji Yuelan's character that she was not bad. And this must be because of her father's influence. I don't know. Only when I find my father can I ask, and I don't know if he's still alive. Ji Yuelan also sighed. Very quickly, Xianxia and Ji Yuelan slaughtered 7 huge bears and obtained 20,000 kilograms of beast meat. Xianxia also obtained 7 beast cores. On the second day, Xianxia and Ji Yuelan went to the small plaza in the middle of the tribe where 20,000 kilograms of beast meat were placed. At this time, the entire tribe knew that Xianxia was going to challenge their clan chief. When Ji-yoon arrived and saw the beast meat, he secretly cursed Ji Yuelan and Xianxia. He never thought that these two people would hide so much beast meat. I'm very strong. If we were to fight in here, it would definitely cause quite a bit of damage. There's a flat land not far away from here. Let's go there and fight. Ji-yoon was still very confident in himself, and shouted out without showing any signs of weakness. If he won, he would be able to obtain 20,000 kilograms of beast meat, and if he could drive Xianxia, the foreign cultivator, away, he would also gain a lot of prestige. Ji-yoon and the others were walking in front, and Ji Yuelan was currently very nervous, holding onto Xianxia so tightly that he was sweating profusely. Xianxia held onto her tightly and laughed. Relax, it's fine. Even if we lose, it's not a big deal. If you lose, you must leave the Ji tribe, Ji Yuelan said in a low voice. It's fine. I can live in a random cave outside. Moreover, I can do it nearby. You can find me anytime. Xianxia laughed. Don't talk about that. I haven't lost yet. When they arrived outside the tribe, everyone was watching from afar. Quite a few warriors knew that their chief was very strong. When the battle was going to be fierce, there would be quite a bit of noise. If they were too close, they would be affected. If you become an elder, do you want Ji Yuelan to be your patriarch? Ji-yoon asked. That's right. Xianxia nodded. Since that's the case, if you lose, Ji Yuelan and you will have to leave our Ji tribe. Ji-yoon laughed sinisterly. Why? Xianxia looked at Ji Yuelan, who was not far away. Ji Yuelan's face was ice cold. She was very angry. Ji-yoon obviously wanted to kick her out. Because you are together. According to the rules, losers are not allowed to enter the tribe. Ji-yoon said, I'm ready. Let's begin. Ji-yoon was very sinister. He said that it had begun, and it really had begun. He had worked his way over in the blink of an eye, and as expected of a clan leader, he did not lack strength and was also very strong. He was not far from Xianxia to begin with, but now he was in front of him as if he had teleported. Before Xianxia could react, his chest was struck a few times by Ji-yoon before he was sent flying by the impact. This old fox. Xianxia secretly cursed in his heart. Without specifying the rules, it began. After Xianxia was sent flying, he immediately flew over, jumping over from afar with his feet already aimed at Xianxia's head. His speed was extremely fast, and when he flew over, it was like a flash of black light. Xianxia had already suffered 2 punches, His body was already in pain, but now that the other party was quickly chasing after him, he was still moving at a terrifying speed. Ah! Xianxia's head was kicked, he had a splitting headache. He did not expect the clan chief's speed to be so fast, and furthermore, the quality of his body was extremely good, something he could not compare with. Xianxia was kicked in the head, hitting the stones on the ground, causing many of the stones to shatter. You lost, Jiyun yelled as he leapt onto Xianxia's body. Then he suddenly descended, and when he fell from the sky, he produced an even stronger force. Xianxia looked at Jiyun, who had fallen from the sky, and sneered in his heart. Although falling from the sky had a very strong force of impact, his speed was not very fast and was not even as fast as running on the ground. In the air, it was equivalent to a target. Xianxia endured the pain and activated the primitive Tao power in his body, combining it with the flame Tao energy released by the fire profound gate. 6th floor of the devil subduing method. Xianxia seized the opportunity and suddenly punched at the bottom of Ji Yun's feet. Boom! The two forces clashed, and Xianxia, who was lying on the ground, immediately sank deep into the ground. The stiff stone ground around him also cracked and crumbled as a wave of energy rushed in all directions. Jiyun was also sent flying by Xianxia's punch. When he flew back, his body was still wreathed in flames, and Xianxia had just used the meteor immortal power to increase his strength. The 6 consecutive sounds were extremely shocking, and the sounds were still echoing in the sky. As for Jiyun, who was sent flying by Xianxia's fist, fell to the ground with his entire body burning in flames, and was completely charred black. I'm going to kill you, Jiyun roared. One of his legs had cracked. All the bones in his body had been shattered by Xianxia's punch. Xianxia laid on the ground and climbed back up with much difficulty. He was also heavily injured. He never thought that the bodies of the humans in this place could be this strong. The warriors of Ji tribe were all surprised to see their clan chief being so powerful, because they rarely saw their clan chief take action. Xianxia's strength had also shocked them, to actually be able to cause such heavy injuries to their clan chief. Although Jiyun had crippled one of his legs, relying on his other leg, he could actually fly over at a relatively fast speed and punch towards Xianxia, who had just crawled up. Xianxia's face was struck hard, his head smashing into the ground, causing his entire body to roll over. What made Xianxia surprised was, when the fist struck him, it actually produced some black granules, which brought about a stench. It's poison. This guy used poison. Xianxia was astonished in his heart. Back then, when Jiyun beat Ji Yuelan's father, he had indeed used a certain method. You're dead for sure, ha ha ha. Jiyun laughed sinisterly and walked towards Xianxia. This time, Jiyun walked over to him. He thought that if Xianxia was poisoned, he would not be able to hold on for long, and in order to scare the clan, he planned to ravage Xianxia to death slowly. However, Xianxia was prepared for it this time, so when Jiyun stomped his foot on Xianxia's chest, he only felt like he stepped on empty air. As if his foot stepped on air, it penetrated through Xianxia's body and stepped on a rock. Xianxia had wanted to use the Cloud Sky Elephant earlier, but the opponent's speed had always been very fast, so he had only condensed a bit of Tao power before being dispersed, and just now Jiyun had given him time. The spectators from afar thought that Xianxia's heart had been stepped on. Ji Yuelan had already bellowed in anger. She wanted to go over, but was stopped by Ji Yun's descendants. Just what is this? Jiyun was startled. He immediately threw a punch at Xianxia's head, but the punch still missed. Xianxia was like a cloud, although it was scattered, but it quickly merged back together. Don't think I didn't know you were using poison. Xianxia sneered, and secretly released the fire Tao energy inside the fire profound gate, turning it into a fire vine, suddenly emerging from the ground and entangling Jiyun. Go to hell. The instant that the primitive Tao power passed through the first layer of the profound door, it caused his entire body to be in even greater pain, but it also allowed him to become even stronger. Primitive Tao powers that passed through the profound doors were rarely terrifying, and when Xianxia's divine senses surged out, even the earth was trembling. Boom! Xianxia's fist smashed towards Ji Yun's chest. The primitive Tao power exploded under Xianxia's control and shattered the upper half of his body. "Father!" A soldier shouted from the distance as he rushed towards Xianxiang, but was stopped by a few soldiers. Ji Yun's descendants were all stopped by the many warriors, and at this moment, Ji Yuelan also rushed towards Xianxiang. Xianxiang was seriously injured, and after defeating Ji Yun, he could only barely stand. Ji Yuelan went over and hugged Xianxiang. He was very excited. "You win. Ji Yun and the rest of his family are going to leave Ji tribe. All right." Xianxiang heaved a sigh of relief, closed his eyes, and fell into a deep sleep. When Xianxiang woke up, he found that the stone room he was in was decorated extravagantly. There were many gold ornaments, light stones, and his body was also covered with herbs. "Fortunately, it's just a physical injury. Divine Sense C is fine." Xianxiang secretly activated his primitive Tao power, using it to repair the damage to his body. After battling Ji Yun, he had experienced how terrifying it was when his physical body had reached a certain degree of strength. Ji Yun only relied on his physical body's strength. His speed and explosive power was extremely terrifying and almost killed him. After he woke up, he continued to recuperate on the bed. Ji Yuelan should be taking over the patriarch's affairs now, and she should be the one to distribute the 20,000 kilograms of beast meat. After 3 days, Xianxiang had more or less recovered. The primitive Tao power was very useful for the recovery of the body. "Xianxiang, are you all right?" Ji Yuelan asked Xianxiang in concern when he saw him. "It's fine. How is the tribe now? Are they satisfied with you?" The new patriarch. Xianxiang laughed and asked. "I'm rather satisfied," Ji Yuelan said. "If you have time, you can teach those warriors how to use their spiritual sense, and then use these storage bag." Xianxiang took out more than 200 storage bag. These were all worthless. The storage rings are meant for fairly outstanding warriors. Xianxiang took out a few dozen more storage rings, and these things were all stored in his Yuyao mountain villa for a very long time. "Thank you." Ji Yuelan knew that these things were very important to the warriors in the tribe. Could motivate more warriors and make them stronger. "I want to train in seclusion for a while," Xianxiang said. Seclusion. Ji Yuelan didn't know what that meant. "It means that I need to cultivate in order to raise my strength." Xianxiang explained simply that he was actually going to concoct pills. "All right. I guarantee that it will be very quiet here and that no one will disturb you," Ji Yuelan said. "That's right. If there is such a beast core, you must keep it for me." Xianxiang said again that beast core could strengthen his body. He was prepared to refine it now. Xianxiang entered a secret room, which was originally an underground storage room. "By refining a pill on a 6 realms mirrors, I can prevent my strength from exploding out." Xianxiang took out the 6 realms mirrors and had it release an array formation. Xianxiang knew that the primitive land was definitely hiding something, but without sufficient strength, he couldn't explore around. There were many powerful beasts among them, and if he met any strong beasts, he wouldn't be able to teleport either, which would be extremely dangerous. Xianxiang placed the beast core that contained the special primitive Tao power into the Chuangshi God furnace, and then urged his fire Tao energy to pass through the 10 layers of profound doors, producing an extremely strong fire Tao energy. It melted. Xianxiang saw a beast core that was like ice, slowly melting under the blazing fire, forming a gold aura. This type of gold aura rose to where there was no flame on the Chuangshi God furnace, and after condensing, it shone with an extremely bright gold light. Under the burning of the flames, the beast core quickly became magnificent, and Xianxiang then put in the Tao God Emperor Yuan Dan's medicinal ingredients. After those medicinal ingredients were refined, Xianxiang fused them with the beast core qi. The process of fusing was quite smooth. It only took him 2 hours to succeed. "Let's see how many crash S we can execute." Xianxiang was now a little frightened, because he had previously collided with the primitive Tao power, and was severely injured by it that time. Furthermore, that beast core contained a large amount of primitive Tao power S, and it was rather special. If they were to collide with each other, it would definitely unleash a very strong power. Xianxiang was not willing to condense a core like this. After going through a crash, its effects would be increased by many times. Let's give it a try. I'm quite strong now. There shouldn't be any problems. Xianxia transferred a large amount of primitive Tao power to the Six Realms mirrors and urged it to release a barrier over the pill furnace. It should be possible now. Xianxia was very confident in the power of the Six Realms mirrors. Begin. Xianxia controlled the 8 medicine crystal S to suddenly collide with each other. At the moment of impact, the pill furnace only shook slightly. Success. Xianxia was pleasantly surprised. The movements were not too big. It was mainly because of the Six Realms mirrors. Just a moment ago, the Six Realms mirrors had consumed a lot of his primitive Tao power. From the looks of it, it should be able to continue. Xianxia decided to carry out the second crash because the barrier released by the Six Realms mirrors was very strong. It was relatively easy to defend against the first crash, but it took much more energy. Of course, the consumption wasn't too much of a problem. Xianxia had the primordial profound gate, so he would be able to quickly acquire a large amount from the primordial profound gate. The second level. Moreover, Xianxia would fuse the tiny particles that he had rammed into together. After that, he would split them into 8 pieces for his second collision. When he was at the second crash, its power was not small, causing the entire Six Realms mirrors to shake violently. Xianxia continued to execute the third stage, and when he reached the third stage, it caused the entire mountain to shake. This made him afraid of continuing with the fourth stage, as he was worried that he would destroy this G-tribe. Time to start condensing the pill. Under Xianxia's control, everything inside the Xianxia God furnace quickly fused together. As long as my primitive Tao power can pass through the third level of the profound door, I'm very satisfied. Right now, Xianxia's primitive Tao power could pass through the first layer of the profound door, but it would injure him. If he could pass through the third layer of the profound door without getting hurt, his strength would increase by leaps and bounds. If the effects of this Taoist Emperor Dan were good, he would definitely refine a large amount. After Xianxia ate the Taoist Emperor Dan, the medicinal power was surprisingly gentle. He had thought that pills that strengthened the body would be tyrannical like this. This was a Dijiadan that had gone through 3 crashes, so this pill had a spirit god. It could quickly refine itself and display all of its effects. Taoist Emperor Danes had fused with the beast cores of the savage beasts here, and the beast cores had the ability to strengthen the physical body. Now, Xianxia could feel that power flowing through his entire body, fusing into his blood, bones and flesh. The speed of enhancement is very obvious. Xianxia could feel an itchy feeling in his muscles. After fusing with that power, he would quickly absorb the primitive Tao power S from the primordial profound gate and increase his physical body by another step. The effect is very good. Looks like the primitive Tao power in this primitive land has its own unique features. The beasts here have been absorbed for many years, and the beast cores that have been formed contain this kind of power that can strengthen the body. Xianxia had seen how strong the beasts here were before, especially the claws. They were extremely sharp, so he did not want to hurt them earlier. Xianxia spent a day of time to finally refine this Taoist Emperor Dan. He only felt that his body was visibly strengthening, and it wasn't just a pill that could make his body suddenly become extremely strong. Seems like I need at least 100 pills before my body can make a breakthrough. I need even more beast cores like that. Xianxia only had a little more than 10 beast cores now. Who knew if the giant wolves he killed still existed? Only a sufficiently powerful savage beast would possess such a pill. He did not continue to refine Taoist Emperor Dan. He planned to get 100 beast cores and then refine them in one go. Right now, he was concocting a primordial Tao pill. He wanted to continue to train more of the Tao Profound Door to become a Divine Law Mysterious Gate so that he could use more of the primitive Tao power when the time comes. A few days later, Xianxia consumed a lot of primordial Tao pills, and was then created by a Tao Profound Door. Right now, he was at the 6th level of Tao Shi Realm. A Dimensional Profound Gate, a Flame Profound Gate, and 8 Primordial Profound Gates. These were his training goals for the Tao Shi Realm. Even though I have 4 primitive profound gates, the primitive Tao power inside could not be completely released due to the restriction of my fleshly body. I still have a long way to go before I can raise my fleshly body. Xianxia thought this road must be very bumpy, to be able to endure the primitive Tao power released by his 8 primordial profound gates and pass through the 10th layer of the profound entrances, the strength of the body must be unimaginable. After cultivating to the 10th stage of the Dao Shi realm, I will go out to hunt beasts. Xianxia continued to refine pills and eat at the same time. Unknowingly, a month had passed and he had also cultivated to the 10th level of the Dao Shi realm. Xianxia walked out of the underground secret room. Ji Yuelan was in the middle of discussing something with a few warriors in the hall. When she saw Xianxia coming out, she asked those warriors to wait a bit before pulling Xianxia into a secret room. "You're finally out. You've been in seclusion for so long," Ji Yuelan said. "This can be considered fast. In my time, I've tried it over thousands of years and tens of thousands of years." Xianxia laughed. "What's the matter?" "Yes, I have some information that might be of help to you," Ji Yuelan said. Right now, she was already the tribe leader of this tribe, so she would often meet with the other tribe leaders. "Oh? What is it?" Xianxia was actually very interested in this. "Next door, in the Jiang clan, there is another foreign cultivator. He is an old man who arrived here about the same time as you. Chief Jiang told me that the old man was looking for a young man. I didn't say that you were here, but I'm worried that the old man is your enemy." Ji Yuelan was still extremely careful in this kind of matter. "Do you have a portrait of that old man?" Xianxia asked. He felt that the old man should be the natural law divine spirit Yuan Feng. "No. Do you have any enemies of the old man?" Ji Yuelan asked. "I did fall in with 2 friends, and one of them was an old man. It should have been him," Xianxia said. "All right. I'll take you to the Jiang clan," Ji Yuelan said. Regarding Xianxia, Ji Yuelan was extremely concerned. After all, Xianxia had helped her a lot. "No need. Get someone to send a message to the Jiang clan. Tell them that Xianxia is here, and that old man will come over himself." Xianxia laughed. Ji Yuelan followed Xianxia's instructions, and in less than half a day, Yuan Feng and the Jiang clan patriarch already ran over. After all, Yuan Feng was a cunning old fox. Seeing that he had gotten along so well with the Jiang clan chief, Yuan Feng knew that he must have used some tricks in the Jiang clan. After finding Yuan Feng, Xianxia was also happy, and so was Yuan Feng. When he saw Xianxia, he started laughing heartily. "As expected of your luck, if you don't have the Tao God Gold body, you won't die. I'm worried that you won't be able to take it." When he passed through the heavenly evil abyss, the tearing force had caused him extreme pain, so he was worried about Xianxia. "Speak from the inside." Xianxia brought Yuan Feng to his underground secret room. Yuan Feng chuckled. "Kid, your luck with women is always not shallow. When you came here, I was already seduced by you to this kind of woman. You've been a natural law divine spirit for so long. Have you never hooked up with a female god?" Xianxia curled his lips. "There are indeed a few decent ones in the natural law divine spirit, but they are all despicable. Now, they have been killed by Yuan Xin and I. Oh right, there's still one more heaven-poisoned divine spirit that hasn't died. We can't deal with this woman." Yuan Feng thought of Du Shaoling and couldn't help but feel fear. "Don't try to harm elder sister Shaoling. She has treated me well," Xianxia anxiously said. "Really? You hooked up with her?" Yuan Feng was shocked. "No, I just have a good relationship with her and she's a good friend. She even gave me a lot of poisons, but they were all used up by me. I used those poisons to kill 2 strong of Divine Wasteland S earlier," Xianxia said. Yuan Feng could immediately guess that Du Shaoling must have gotten rid of the natural law divine lord's restraints with Xianxia's help, which was why he treated Xianxia so well. Just like how he treated Xianxia right now, he treated him really well, and he felt extremely grateful whenever he thought about it. "Let's not talk about this anymore. Where's eldest brother Yuan Xin?" Xianxia asked. "I don't know. I was looking for him too. At that time, we were separated." Yuan Feng sighed. "I never thought that this place would actually exist." Xianxia did not know much about the primitive land, but hearing Yuan Feng's words, he knew that Yuan Feng definitely knew a lot. "What kind of crappy place is this? Can we still go back?" Xianxia asked. This had puzzled him for a long time. Yuan Feng did not answer, but was thinking about something. Xianxia was not in a hurry either. He was a natural law divine spirit before, so he had a lot of things to think about. It's hard to say. This place is called Primitive Land, and can be said to be the initial state of natural law world and heavenly evil world. The reason why I didn't think that it would be sealed away and preserved is because I'm worried that after natural law world and heavenly evil world are destroyed, this world will still be able to continue on. Yuan Feng said. Then how long has this world existed for? Xianxia felt that not too long ago, because Ji Yuelan had mentioned it before that she was still very young. It's hard to say. There are no laws of time here. Even the people here sometimes pass by in a daze or die from generations. In short, it's hard to say what the situation is inside here. It's best to leave here quickly. Yuan Feng said. I heard that there will be situations where the world will be destroyed. That means once the humans here have evolved to a certain degree, it will be easier to trigger the big destructive formation. Then this place will be destroyed by powerful forces, and then from a new seed, life will flourish once more. The purpose is to ensure that this place is in a primitive state of disappearance. Ji Yuelan had said it before. It seemed like Ji Yuelan and the rest of the humans would gradually leave the primal chaos dimension. At that time, as long as they managed to trigger the array inside, they would be able to recreate it. According to my observations, the humans here know that they live in the primitive land. This means that they will reach a certain level very soon. They will be able to evolve very soon and understand how to refine pills. Yuan Feng said. Of course, the reason they evolved so quickly is mainly because there are people from other realms like us here who are constantly here, and the primitive people here are extremely skilled in learning. Xianxia had a deep understanding of this. Ji Yuelan's learning ability was extremely fast, and was extremely easy to learn as well. If he stayed with for a little longer, he would definitely be able to learn even more things. Then how do we leave? Xianxia's words caused Yuan Feng to sink into silence, and even he himself did not know how to get out. What about you? Do you have any plans? Yuan Feng's smell. Of course there are. I intend to take a look at the most dangerous place. It is said that there is an extremely powerful savage beast in the most dangerous place. I think that it is the source of energy inside, which is why powerful beasts are born. Xianxia said, but I need to become stronger before I can go. Otherwise it will be very dangerous. That isn't a bad idea. The savage beasts here are extremely powerful as well. I met some before, and it took me much effort before I managed to kill them. Yuan Feng nodded his head. So, you still have to continue refining pills, right? That's for sure. If I become stronger here, it would be much easier to deal with those guys when I'm outside. Right now, there was the heavenly evil world outside. This was an existence even more threatening than the black hair's human. All right, I will continue to inquire about Yuan Xian's whereabouts. I will be staying in the Zhou tribe for some time. If you find anything, you can tell me. If I find out, I'll tell you. Yuan Feng said. And that's right. If you can obtain the beast core of a barbarian beast in the Zhou tribe, give it to me. If you don't see me, you can give it to Yulan. Xianxia said. Those beast cores are of great use to me. I'm still planning to go out to hunt some of them. Yuan Feng said. You have to be careful. This is the primitive land. It retains many species. With the current level of evolution of humans, the rate of evolution of the beasts here is faster than humans. And I also found out that the humans in this place appeared a little later. Maybe there are stronger human races hidden inside. It's just that we haven't found out. The primitive land is also very vast. Xianxia had also thought about this question before. He had also asked Ji Yuelan, but Ji Yuelan didn't really understand this. So many tribes often sent people to explore, but many of them had yet to return. Furthermore, they could not travel too far. It would be extremely dangerous for them if they went out alone, and if a group of people went out, it would be a huge loss to the tribe if all of them died. In other words, the tribes in this region do not understand this primitive land. After Xianxia and Yuan Feng finished their secret conversation, Ji Yuelan rushed over with a rare bright smile on her face. What is it? Why are you laughing so happily? Xianxia asked with a smile. My father has always been in contact with clan leader Jiang when he returned. Ji Yuelan said. There was indeed nothing more happy than to see his own father again. The valiant Ji Yuelan was now like a little girl. Xianxia, you are the clan leader. Can you announce to the entire clan that I am giving him the position of clan chief? My father is much stronger than me. It would be better if he could become the clan chief. Ji Yuelan said. There was no problem with that, and he could trust Ji Yuelan. He was going to meet her father with Ji Yuelan right now. Ji Yuelan's father was Ji Ding, a middle-aged man whose face was covered in a beard. He was very straightforward. Xianxia had only chatted with him for a short while and felt that he was a good person. At this time, Xianxia also called the warriors of the Ji tribe over and told them the truth. The reason why Ji Yun lost was because he used poison, and Ji Yuelan were father and daughter, and the position of patriarch was designated by the elders. As long as they were not bad people and possessed sufficient strength, they would all agree. After this matter was settled, Ji Yuelan was extremely grateful to Xianxia. Yulan, I want to go out and hunt beasts. I need that kind of beast core. Are you coming with me? Ji Yuelan asked. Ji Yuelan's strength was also not bad. If he had her help, it would be much easier for him. What is it? Ji Yuelan had wanted to go out to hunt beasts with Xianxia long ago. The sooner the better. I'll go tomorrow. Xianxia laughed. Right now, your father is the patriarch. Under his management, the beast meat will definitely be very abundant. You don't have to worry about the children not eating anything. All right, I'll go with you tomorrow. Ji Yuelan nodded. The next day, when Xianxia just woke up, he heard loud noises. He quickly got up and saw Ji Yuelan walking out from a stone room as he frowned. Something has happened. Hurry up and go out to take a look, Ji Yuelan said. In a situation like this, there would normally be people coming here to cause trouble. Ji Yuelan quickly walked out of the cave, and when he arrived outside, he saw many strong wolf-riding men. Seeing this scene, Xianxia thought of the Zhou clan warriors that he and Ji Yuelan had killed before. People of the Zhou tribe, you barged into our Ji tribe. This is equivalent to attacking our Ji tribe. If you don't compensate us, none of you will leave today. Ji Ding said angrily as he walked out. As an elder of the Ji tribe, Xianxia was responsible for all the affairs of the Ji tribe. When someone came to make trouble, he would definitely take action. He was already prepared to take action. There were more than 50 wolf knights, and they were all skilled warriors. In addition to the wolves they rode, their overall strength was not weak. And out of the thousands of people in Ji tribe, there were only 100 who were comparable to these wolf-riding warriors. If they were to fight, the casualties would be very heavy. Ji Ding, I never thought that you would really be back. I came to see you today. A middle-aged man riding a giant wolf came out, holding a long blade and pointing it at Ji Ding. Xianxia and Ji Yuelan were both surprised. They thought that these wolf knights knew that they had killed more than 10 wolf knights earlier. Even if you want to find me, you have to follow the rules. To barge in here so casually is a violation of the rules. No matter what your goal is, I will treat you as an enemy. After Ji Ding finished speaking, the warriors of the Ji tribe immediately surrounded the wolf knights. Ji Ding did not care what the other party's intentions were. In short, this method made him extremely angry, and he also decided to strengthen his defense. The great door of Ji tribe was actually smashed open by someone just like that. I've come to find you to propose for my son. My son is the #1 young warrior of our Zhou clan. He is too strong in all aspects. When he took a few women, he was tortured to death in his bed. And in our entire clan, only Ji Ding's daughter is a female warrior, and even more so the daughter of the clan leader. She is an extremely good match for my son. The middle-aged man said, If you agree, I will give you 200,000 kilograms of beast meat as compensation for invading your place. And the following, I will give you another 1 million caddies of beast meat. Wishful thinking, Ji Yuelan scoffed. Your son is not a human at all. Just let him mess with the beasts. To be able to torture a woman to death in her bed, the women here all felt a kind of pain. It could be seen how brutal the son of the Zhou clan leader was to women. Zhou Lai, leave 200,000 kilograms of beast meat and you can go back. Our daughter says that she won't marry anyone. How could Ji Ding not know what Ji Yuelan was thinking at the moment? Even if he was blind, he could still tell the feelings Ji Yuelan had towards Xianxia. Zhou Lai was the leader of the Zhou clan and was extremely powerful. Today, he had brought a group of people to propose marriage, and the conditions he offered were extremely generous to be rejected. This made him extremely angry, but for his son, he suppressed the anger in his heart. Ji Ding, I am only doing this to continue my bloodline. Amongst so many tribes, only your powerful daughter can take on the burden of my son. You need to be clear that after all these years, your Ji tribe has become much weaker under the command of Ji Yun. Are you sure your Ji tribe can beat us? Zhou Lai said, his voice full of threat. Finished, Zhou Lai bellowed, only hearing waves of wolf howls coming from outside the Ji tribe. We have 2,000 wolf knights outside, but your Ji tribe only has 5,000 soldiers, and your warriors only have 2,000. So, there are only a few hundred strong enough warriors. Don't tell me you want to sacrifice the entire Ji tribe for your daughter? After Zhou Lai finished speaking, he looked at the young warriors around him. These young brats will all be killed because of this. Ji Ding clenched his fist. This was indeed a big problem for him. Zhou Lai, even if our Ji tribe is destroyed, we will still kill all of you invaders. No matter how strong your Zhou clan is, without you as the clan leader, we will be utterly defeated. Many warriors gripped their spears tightly. As long as Ji Ding gave the order, they would immediately attack. Clan leader Zhou, your son is too weak to be worthy of Yulan. Xianxia suddenly said. Are you the elder of the Ji tribe? There are only so many ways for someone from another realm to defeat Ji Yun. I'm not afraid of you. Zhou Lai sneered. You only know how to win people's hearts. I am very clear about your situation in the Ji clan. Xianxia's storage bags and such had already been distributed to many warriors. Many people in many tribes knew about it and were very envious of it. That's what you think. That's right. Let's return to the topic just now. I said that your son is too weak to be worthy of Yulan. As the great elder of Ji tribe, I also have a say in Yulan's marriage. Xianxia smiled slightly. Yulan is an outstanding female warrior of our Ji tribe. She is also recognized as the #1 female warrior by many tribes. You have admitted this yourself, so her requirements are very high. What right do you have to say that my son is not worthy of her? My son is recognized as the #1 young warrior among many clans, and is very compatible with her. Isn't he? Zhou Lai pointed his blade at Xianxia. Tell me, in the end, what do I need to do to be worthy of Yulan? At least he's stronger than me. Xianxia said. Stronger than you? Do I have to fight you? Zhou Lai raised his eyebrows. Since Xianxia was able to kill Ji Yun, his strength was definitely not weak. Xianxia nodded. You have a lot of tricks up your sleeves. When Ji Yun fought with you that day, he probably wasn't prepared for it, and might not be in his own state anymore either. Moreover, to be able to see a person's strength is not only based on their strength, but also their intelligence and other abilities. Zhou Lai thought for a bit, and when he said those words, it was clear that he did not want his son to fight with Xianxia anymore. Ji Yulan was very clear about Xianxia's strength, so she was not worried, but she was secretly happy, because Xianxia was standing up for her. Then how do you think we should compete? Xianxia said. You have been here for quite some time. You should know how important animal meat is to us tribes. If you want to compete, then compete in terms of the speed at which you obtain the beast meat, and even more so, obtain it all by yourself. Zhou Lai said, the reason my son is publicly recognized as #1 is because he has hunted a lot of savage beasts. No problem. Xianxia nodded. Let's just compete in this. But before we begin, you have to leave behind 200,000 kilograms of beast meat as compensation. After all, you have invaded our Ji tribe. Exactly. If you don't compensate me, then don't even think about walking out of here. Ji Ding also said loudly. On this point, they definitely could not back down, if not they would be terrified. Zhou Lai snorted angrily, and then roared loudly. A few giant elephants dragged a few large carts of beast meat inside. Ji Ding walked over and stored it in his storage ring. This made Zhou Lai's eyes burn with envy. Now, can we talk about the competition? Zhou Lai said. My son will definitely be stronger than you. You'll know if you want to compete. Anyone can say it. Xianxia laughed. Your son is definitely here. Why don't we start today? How about it? Hunting beast. Zhou said. That won't do, you have that storage ring. My son can't compare to you. How about this, your Zhou tribe has a great reputation. You can mobilize the other tribes to build a beast battle arena, and then you can go catch some powerful savage beasts with the other clan leaders. Then, your son and I can compete with the savage beasts in the battleground. Xianxia said. When Zhou heard this, he was also considering if he should accept. Although he said that his son was the strongest on the surface, but he was worried that he would lose to Xianxia. If he lost, their Zhou clan's reputation would be ruined. If you dare not compete, then please leave. Xianxia said. If you win, will you agree to marry Ji Yuelan to my son? Zhou asked. That I can't say for sure. Marrying or not is up to me. It all depends on your own will. Even if I were to compete with your son later on, it would only prove that he is a powerful warrior. Xianxia said he could not casually agree to something like that. Zhou thought about it for a while, then said, all right, just wait. We will do as you say and build a beast battle arena. Then, we will see who is stronger when facing off against savage beasts. Xianxia's original plan to travel could only be postponed for now. In order to prepare for the upcoming competition, he once again entered the underground secret room to refine a Taoist Emperor Dan. Ji Yuelan knew that he needed a large amount of beast cores, so he found a lot for him. These were all left behind by Ji Yun previously, and now Xianxia had over 20 beast cores in his hands. The warriors of these clans are all very strong. It won't take them long to build a beast battle arena. I think it'll be completed in a month or so. I wonder how far my physical body can go by then. Xianxia was already at the 10th level of Daoshi realm. If he were to strengthen his body, he would be able to use even more primitive Tao power. He had already informed Ji Yuelan that he would be out in a month. Right now, he was starting to refine Taoist Emperor Dan, refining and eating at the same time. He wanted to eat as much as possible within a month. Although concocting pills was boring, in order to increase his strength, Xianxia was extremely enthusiastic about it. Unknowingly, a month had passed and he had also eaten 15 Taoist Emperor Danes. Very good, I can use 2S from the primordial profound gate to pass through the 2 stages. My strength is already very strong. After Xianxia tried it, he became very excited. Previously, as long as he used the primitive Tao power to pass through the profound door, his body would be in extreme pain as if it was being torn apart. However, he did not feel any pain even after passing through the 2 Gate of Wonders. He was very satisfied with the improvement he had received over the past month. His goal was to pass the 10th layer of the primitive Tao power from the 8 primordial profound gates. He felt that if he could reach this stage, he would become a Dao sovereign and he would be able to deal with ordinary Dao sovereigns. After Xianxia came out, he saw Ji Yuelan training warriors in the plaza in the middle of the Ji tribe. Under Ji Yun's control, the Ji tribe had weakened greatly, and now they needed to increase their speed and catch up to him. Xianxia, it's been a month. How's your progress? Ji Yuelan asked. She was extremely concerned about Xianxia's matters, and because she had heard this month that Zhou Lai's son was truly strong, she did not want Xianxia to lose the competition. A lot. Xianxia laughed. Did my old friend from the Jiang clan come to find me? I've come. He has brought 30 savage beast pills with him. Ji Yuelan took out a beast skin bag from his storage ring and handed it over to Xianxia. All right. Xianxia accepted it and laughed. We should have completed the construction of the beast battle arena. What kind of beasts have they caught? We caught 4 steel arm ape. The steel arm ape is an extremely terrifying savage beast, much stronger than the giant bears we encountered before. Furthermore, its intelligence is close to that of humans, and it is very similar to humans in every aspect. Ji Yuelan said, in order to capture these fellows, the patriarchs of several tribes and thousands of warriors have to work together. Xianxia was not afraid. His current strength had increased by a lot. His name was Zhou Tianxiang, and was Zhou Lai's only son. He looked as strong as a bear, and used 2 large blades as his weapon, which was the number 1 young warrior in the entire Zhou clan. He was able to fight against more than 10 small beasts by himself. Although it was powerful, Ji Yuelan felt that Xianxia was stronger than her. She had personally witnessed Xianxia's power. Now they're all ready. They're just waiting for you. Ji Yuelan said, Xianxia, if you aren't ready, you can wait for a few more days to adjust yourself before going. No need. Go and tell them that we can start tomorrow. At this time, Xianxia was extremely confident, and when Ji Yuelan saw his confident smile, he felt a lot more at ease. On the second day, Xianxia followed Ji Yuelan and some of the warriors from the Ji tribe to a stone mountain. This was the place where Xianxia and Ji Yuelan had killed more than 10 giant bears last time. There was a huge rock mountain here that was hollowed out in the middle. It was dozens of feet deep and wide, just like a volcano. At this moment, the mountain entrance was filled with people. There were warriors and clan leaders from other tribes. They had all participated in the construction of this Colosseum, and this was something new to them. Everyone here worshipped power, and a place like the Beast Battling Arena could display great power. This was not only built for the competition between Xianxia and Xianxia. Other tribes could also come here to compete more often. The Jiang clan was here as well. Seeing that Xianxia had arrived, Yuan Feng anxiously transmitted to Xianxia, Brat, you have no problems with that, right? I will go hunt those steel arm ape for them. They are indeed very strong things. No problem. Xianxia replied, just watch. I'm actually worried that the Zhou clan will attack the Ji tribe after losing. At that time, you can help out. Fine. I also want to see how strong you, brat, have become. Yuan Feng laughed. Xianxia had already seen Zhou Tianxiang, and he was indeed as strong as a bear. He already looked very scary, but a big guy like him was very popular in the tribes because he looked very powerful and mighty. Although Xianxia also had a tall and sturdy body, compared to Zhou Tianxiang, he seemed much more slim, so from the size of his body, many people felt that there was a huge difference between Xianxia and him. However, they thought that since Xianxia was able to kill this clan leader, he definitely had the strength to do so. I will now talk about the rules. This is something that I discussed with the other tribal leaders as well. Zhou Lai said as he walked over. Firstly, you must not use the power of your body. Although it is a part of your strength, it is not too fair compared to us, because our primitive land has always been sealed. Xianxia frowned, but still nodded his head in agreement. The so-called natural energy was also fire and thunder-type energy. Second, the weapons you use can only be manufactured by our tribe and not yours. I know that you foreign people have a lot of strange things called god equipment, and you can't use them either. Thirdly, whoever defeats the steel arm ape in the shortest amount of time will win. Xianxia looked down at the 4 cages hanging on the side of the beast battle arena and said, how many words of steel arm ape will you use in a fight? 2 at a time. Zhou Lai said. None of these steel arm ape were injured. They were all captured alive by traps and fed to us for a month. Our strength is about the same. All right, I have no objections. Let's start now. Xianxia said. Zhou Tianxiang walked over. His voice was rough. I'll go first. As he spoke, he picked up 2 long blades from the pile and jumped down. This was equivalent to entering the Colosseum. Zhou Lai was not worried about his son. He knew that his son was very strong, and nodded to an old man, who placed the 2 steel arm apis cages down, and then opened the door. Zhou Tianxiang was already very strong, but the steel arm ape was even stronger, and twice as tall as Zhou Tianxiang. Its 2 arms were covered with stiff steel sheets, and the 2 big muscles on its chest were also extremely sturdy. Many of the warriors present were frightened. They knew the fame of this steel arm ape. It would be very difficult for them to face this one, and it was in the beast battling arena at that. Although the beast battling arena was spacious, it was very flat. Moreover, there was a large limit to how much one could run on. The terrain was not good for humans. If they were in the forest, they could use the small human body to run around in the forest. If they were in the forest, they could use the small human body to run around in the forest. Now, Zhou Tianxiang did not change his expression even when facing the 2 steel arm ape. This made many young warriors feel inferior, and they all sighed in admiration. As for the many martial immortals from the Zhou clan, They were all cheering for Zhou Tianxiang. Their shouts reverberated throughout the beast battlefield, shocking everyone. At this time, Zhou Tianxiang also crazily rushed forward, charging towards a steel arm ape. Although the steel arm ape was big, it was very nimble. Seeing Zhou Tianxiang rushing over with 2 blades in his hands, it too rushed forward, and very quickly they clashed against each other. When Zhou Tianxiang's 2 long blades slashed down, the steel arm ape waved the steel arm in its hand to open them, while the other steel ring ruthlessly smashed towards Zhou Tianxiang. When Zhou Tianxiang, who was holding onto his dual blades, dodged to the side to avoid the fist, the other steel arm ape suddenly rushed forward fiercely. With a jump, it arrived above Zhou Tianxiang and threw a punch downwards. Zhou Tianxiang anxiously jumped out of the way, while the floor was smashed into pieces by the steel arm ape, sending rubble flying everywhere. All of them are very strong, Xianxia said, but his expression was extremely relaxed. He had already seen through Zhou Tianxiang's weakness. Although powerful, he did not have any tactics. It was Zhou Tianxiang's first time facing 2 steel arm ape, and it was currently very difficult for him to deal with them. Although he had attacked a few times, but the steel arm ape's stiff arms always opened up for him. It might not be easy to slash onto the body of the steel arm ape, but it would hit on the steel block on the chest of the steel arm ape. The steel arm ape was very smart, trying to avoid the areas with low defense from being chopped at, and the 2 steel arm ape were cooperating very well, constantly fighting with Zhou Tianxiang, looking like the steel arm ape was not paying attention at all. Very quickly, an hour had passed. Zhou Tianxiang had entered without being injured by the steel arm ape, and he was also somewhat out of breath. He had carried out numerous fierce attacks, all with great effort, but none of them succeeded. Other than that, Zhou Tianxiang used most of his power to block the fist of the steel arm ape, or to dodge the attack of the steel arm ape. Although Zhou Tianxiang did not cause any damage to the steel arm ape, everyone felt that Zhou Tianxiang was very strong, because if they were in his place, their heads would definitely be smashed into pieces by the steel arm ape's steel fists. Seeing this, Zhou Lai was also a little anxious. They had all underestimated the strength of the steel arm ape, and did not expect that dealing with 2 of the steel arm ape alone would take so much effort. Although the Zhou clan warriors had an imposing manner when they shouted, Zhou Tianxiang was still the same. He was still unable to cause much damage to the steel arm ape. It's just a lot of hair. Ji Wulan said to Xianxia, who was beside him, "These steel arm ape are really strong. If I were you, I would have died a long time ago." "Xianxia, are you really all right?" "No problem. Steel arm ape has many weaknesses." Xianxia watched very carefully. When he saw the way steel arm ape fought, he was even more confident. Ji Wulan could only trust Xianxia. 2 hours had passed and Zhou Tianxiang was already extremely exhausted. He was also very afraid of death, and he knew that if he continued to fight, he might even die. Zhou Lai clenched his teeth and threw down a metal chain, bringing Zhou Tianxiang up with him. Zhou Tianxiang being unable to kill the 2 steel arm ape made many people sigh. Everyone wanted to see the power of humans to kill steel arm ape, but Zhou Tianxiang disappointed them, but everyone could understand. "It's my turn," Xianxia said. "Wait. These 2 steel arm ape have been fighting with my son for so long. They must be tired too. If you go down now and fight with these 2 steel arm ape, wouldn't that be a huge advantage? Moreover, you have been watching from above for such a long time, so you must be familiar with the fighting methods of steel arm ape." Zhou Lai said he had a big opinion of this because he never expected such an outcome to occur. "Why don't we do this and put down the other 2 steel arm ape? I alone will deal with the stone steel arm ape. This should be fine, right?" Xianxia said. When everyone heard this, they were shocked. The 2 steel arm ape were already difficult to deal with, let alone the 4. "Brat, this competition has given you so many restrictions, but you're still so confident. Don't try to be brave," Yuan Feng anxiously transmitted to Xianxia. Zhou Lai was actually more than happy to do that. He immediately ordered his men to put down the other 2 steel arm ape. Ji Ding was also a little worried because he had caught these steel arm ape and knew how powerful they were. "Xianxia, you have to be worried. You saw these steel arm ape's strength with your own eyes. You have to be careful. If you can't beat them, you just have to say it out. At worst, it will be a draw, and then we can use other methods to fight," Ji Ding said. Xianxia nodded. "I know. He walked over to the pile of weapons and picked up a spear and a long knife. Ji Welon walked over, shook his hand, and gently said, "You must win." Chun Xiang smiled at her, then jumped into the beast battling arena. Chun Xiang jumped into the beast battle arena. When he landed, he saw that there was a steel arm ape jumping up. Its huge and powerful body was already gathering its energy, preparing to punch him in the air. Previously, Zhou Tianxiang only released the steel arm ape when he was going down. But now, Chun Xiang already had 4 steel arm ape down there. "Big guy. Jumping into the air on your own is suicidal." Chun Xiang scoffed in his heart. The steel arm ape's huge fist came smashing down at a very fast speed, like a ray of black light. But Chun Xiang had already predicted when his opponent would punch, so he avoided it ahead of time. At the same time, the spear in his hand fiercely stabbed into the steel arm ape's eyes, piercing out from the back of its head. Just like that, Chun Xiang had killed a steel arm ape, which surprised everyone, especially that Zhou Tianxiang. He never expected Chun Xiang's dodging speed to be so fast, and it was even in the air, making his attack speed shocking. At least it was faster than him. This steel arm ape is really stupid. If he stayed down here, with the other 3 steel arm ape holding Chun Xiang down, Chun Xiang would not have easily gotten his way, and would have jumped into the air to attack Chun Xiang instead. His oversized body is only a target, and Chun Xiang's body is extremely small, so it would be very advantageous for him to dodge and attack. Yuan Feng said while smiling. From Chun Xiang's previous flash and strike, he knew that Chun Xiang had put in a lot of effort. Although his body was thinner than Zhou Tianxiang's, his strength was not weaker than Zhou Tianxiang's. The steel arm ape that had jumped up just now was one of the 2 that had just been released. Could have been because it saw Zhou Tianxiang's battle earlier. It was also ready to move, so when it saw Chun Xiang jumping down, it jumped up to attack him. He did not expect Chun Xiang, this skinny little human, to be so powerful. Eyes had always been the weakest place among all the beasts, and this was also the position that Chun Xiang had chosen to attack the beasts for many years. Thus, when he met with that opportunity just now, he attacked without hesitation. Chun Xiang landed on the ground, and the other 3 steel arm ape immediately shouted as they rushed over. The moment Chun Xiang's feet touched the ground, he leaped up ferociously. The 3 steel arm apes that were charging at him missed and almost hit each other. When these steel arm ape realized that Chun Xiang had jumped into the air, Chun Xiang had already thrown his spear at one of the steel arm ape below. Just now, Chun Xiang had used the primitive Tao power to pass through the second layer of the profound door, allowing his arm to gain an extremely powerful strength. When the spear shot out, it was as fast as light, piercing down from the top of a steel arm ape's head, almost causing the entire spear to pierce into the steel arm ape's body. In the blink of an eye, Chun Xiang had killed another steel arm ape. This steel arm ape was also just released from the cage, so now, there were 2 more steel arm ape that he was tired of, which made it even easier for Chun Xiang. Chun Xiang landed on the ground, and the 2 steel arm ape did not continue charging over. They saw that Chun Xiang had killed 2 steel arm ape at the same time, so he must be very strong. When Zhou Tianxiang saw this, he was extremely displeased. It would have been fine if Chun Xiang had killed the 2 steel arm ape that he was tired of, but Chun Xiang had killed the 2 steel arm ape that were just released. This was equivalent to slapping his face. At this point, even if Chun Xiang were to come up now, she would definitely win against him. When Chun Xiang killed the first steel arm ape, his luck was pretty good. He encountered a good opportunity, but the second time was not so. The second time he landed, the steel arm ape had already rushed over and punched out. On the other hand, Chun Xiang was still calmly jumping into the air and throwing out his spear. The power of the spear was also very strong. Zhou Lai snorted. "It's mainly because the weapon my son chose was not good. If it was a lance instead." Ji Ding laughed coldly. "To make a spear, you need to find a good opportunity to do something. When throwing a spear, you usually need the beasts to be still and not be vigilant in order to be successful, especially with the steel arm ape. If they find you, as long as he uses his chest to block, the spear will be destroyed." Zhou Lai was speechless. He only snorted once. Chun Xiang held his long blade and looked at the steel arm ape that was twice as tall as him. The steel arm ape's arms were long, and when it stood, both of its arms would touch the ground. Furthermore, the steel arm ape's entire front was a thick layer of steel armor, and its abdominal and chest muscles were extremely solid pieces of steel, which were also a position that was difficult to break through. Just as Xianxia was about to attack, one of the steel arm ape did something that shocked many. The steel arm ape actually rushed to the corpse of a steel arm ape and tore off the leg of the steel arm ape, and tore off its body in a few moves, then started to eat the meat inside. Steel arm ape were currently replenishing their energy reserves. In order for a savage beast to grow stronger, they would need to hunt and eat it. The other steel arm ape rushed towards Xianxia and started fighting with him. Close combat is a loss. These family heads are also very nimble, their body defense is also very strong, and they are taller than me. His weakness is his head, back, and legs, but the best way to hit him is to launch a surprise attack from afar. Xianxia had only exchanged over 20 moves with the steel arm ape at a close distance, and already felt that it was somewhat difficult. He wanted to circle behind the steel arm ape, but the steel arm ape quickly turned around and did not give him the chance to do so. He wanted to attack the steel arm ape's legs, but the steel arm ape's steel arms were always protecting his weaknesses, preventing Xianxia from succeeding. And the other steel arm ape was currently eating the dead steel arm ape. It was obvious that the two steel arm ape were cooperating with each other. One came to support Xianxia, and the other went to eat and recover their energy. These guys are really smart. Xianxia saw that the steel arm ape was eating, and was shocked. It had actually obtained a spear. The steel arm ape ate very fast, and in a moment it had already eaten more than half of the steel arm ape's corpse, thus recovering very quickly. At this moment, its steel teeth were filled with flesh and blood, making it look extremely terrifying. The steel arm ape held onto its spear, quietly observing from the side, causing everyone's hearts to jump out of their bodies. It was obvious that it was waiting for the chance to attack Xianxia. With a dang sound, when Xianxia's blade slashed at the steel arm ape, it was actually bitten, and was even snapped in an instant. In that moment, a spear pierced over. When the spear pierced towards him, Xianxia could use his consciousness to grab onto the trajectory of the spear. He quickly dodged to the side and avoided the spear by a hair's breadth. If not, the spear would have pierced through his skull. The long spear pierced the stone wall. At this time, Xianxia no longer had a weapon. His back was covered in cold sweat. It was just too dangerous. Ji Yuelan and Ji Ding also heaved a sigh of relief. Many people were sweating because of Xianxia, and at the same time, they couldn't help but sigh in admiration at Xianxia's strength. Many of the tribe warriors spectating felt that they couldn't avoid such a situation. Everyone now felt that Xianxia should hurry up and come up. Since he had already won against Zhou Tianxiang, there was no need to continue fighting. After all, he no longer had a weapon, and the two steel arm apes worked together well. The steel arm apes that were thrown out just now had already recovered after eating their comrades' corpses. If he really couldn't persevere anymore, Xianxia would definitely go up. To him, this was only the beginning. He had already defeated Zhou Tianxiang, and now he had to complete his own challenge. Other than that, he had to make Zhou Tianxiang convinced of his defeat. Only by displaying their strength would the warriors here respect them. The steel arm ape that was full of food rushed towards Xianxia, waving both of its arms around. Xianxia anxiously dodged. His speed was still very fast. During this month of closed-door cultivation, he improved a lot. Now it was time for this steel arm ape to fight him, replace the other one, and let that steel arm ape replenish its energy. These steel arm ape knew that this was the only way to defeat the human in front of them. After eating their fill, the steel arm ape's strength had increased a lot. Its speed and reaction time had increased by a lot. I have to get rid of this steel arm ape as soon as possible, otherwise, when the other one is full, the pressure will be even greater. As Xianxia dodged, he thought about his tactics. I can only try using my formidable strength. My strength is not weak either. Xianxia looked at the gigantic steel fist that was smashing towards him, and did not dodge, but clenched his fist and welcomed the gigantic steel fist. Xianxia's fist was much weaker than the steel arm ape's steel fist, but when his fist landed on the steel arm ape's huge steel fist, a burst of force exploded out, producing a bang sound. That force also caused the steel arm ape's long steel arm to tremble. The steel arm ape was forced back a few steps by Xianxia's punch. He never expected the human in front of him to have such terrifying strength. My strength is really not weak. When Xianxia had used the primitive Tao power to pass through the 2 levels of profound doors earlier, his strength was obviously not weak. Furthermore, right now, he could still control the energy of the primitive Tao power to not be revealed to the outside, and could even combine the energy of the primitive Tao power together. That punch just now had shocked quite a few soldiers. That was a fist made of flesh. How could it dare to fight against a steel arm ape's steel fist that even forced it back? This kind of power made everyone exclaim in surprise. Although steel arm ape is fast, I am not slower than him. Furthermore, he is bigger than me, so compared to me, I am more agile. Furthermore, my strength is very strong as well. If I could get close, I would be able to give him a heavy blow. Xianxia was no longer at the mountain cliff. When the steel arm ape's chaotic punches were sent over, they were all opened by the explosive power of his punches and kicks. Steel arm ape only know how to use brute force, and I have a skill that can circulate energy. I can definitely win. Under Xianxia's careful observation, the steel arm ape's current movement was already a little slower. This was all because when he fought back just now, his strength was too strong, causing his opponent's muscles and bones to tremble. It's about time. Seeing that the steel arm ape was about to punch, Xianxia activated the powerful primitive Tao power and used it to hit it. When the heaven-blasting palm struck the steel arm ape's fist, it released a shaking sound that was accompanied by a shockwave, causing the entire beast battle arena to slightly shake. Roar! The steel arm ape roared. It was a cry filled with intense pain. The heaven-blasting palm that Xianxia used just now had caused his fist extreme pain. Because of the pain, the steel arm ape's speed fell again, and because of the pain, that fist could not move, otherwise it would be even more painful. The furious steel arm ape subconsciously used another fist to punch towards Xianxia. This was also within Xianxia's expectations. He once again used heaven-blasting palm to strike forward. And this time, the heaven-blasting palm was even stronger than the previous one. Under the pure power of the strike, even though the steel arm ape's arm was protected by a thick layer of steel, the flesh and bones inside were still shaken to the point of endless pain, and they were also severely injured. Unable to move his arms, Xianxia went to the side of the steel arm ape and kicked at its legs, directly breaking its legs. Then, he kicked the head of the steel arm ape using heaven-blasting palm. With a loud bang, the steel arm ape fell to the ground. Everyone was shocked. This time Xianxia did not use a weapon, but actually relied on his own body to kill a steel arm ape. The other steel arm ape immediately rushed over and punched Xianxia ruthlessly, but was beaten up until he cried out loud by Xianxia using his heaven-blasting palm. In the end, it's still a beast. Xianxia struck the steel block in front of the steel arm ape's chest a few times, the force of the palm bringing about a strong vibration, causing the steel arm ape to retreat continuously while howling. Xianxia's fists and feet kept hitting the steel chunks in front of the steel arm ape's chest, causing bang sounds to ring out. The speed at which he punched out became faster and faster, and with the exchange of punches, countless of afterimages appeared. Although the steel arm ape had 2 thick pieces of steel on its chest, it could not withstand Xianxia's terrifying strength and madly attacked it. Xianxia's power was terrifying. Even a steel arm ape with such a strong body was unable to withstand him. The metal in front of his chest was caved in, and the steel arm ape was also lying on the ground, not dead yet. Xianxia panted slightly. He was also quite tired from the fight as the primitive Tao power continued to surge out from the second layer of the profound door, charging into his body, washing away the muscles, tendons, and bones in his body before releasing them. Although this placed a certain burden on his body, the moment the immense power exploded out of his body, Xianxia felt completely satisfied. The crowd went silent for a moment, before erupting into thunderous cheers. The warriors of these few tribes all respected the strong, and they had all personally witnessed how powerful Xianxia was just now. Seeing this, Zhou Lai snorted. Then, under the cheers of the crowd, he brought the warriors of the Zhou family and left with their tails between their legs. Xianxia had already defeated Zhou Tianxiang completely, and many warriors had personally witnessed this with their own eyes. Zhou Lai had previously proposed to Ji Ding on behalf of his son, At that time, he was still bragging about what kind of young warrior his son was. Amidst the cheers of the crowd, Xianxia and the rest left the beast fighting arena, and at the same time, the Zhou clan was reduced to a laughingstock, which made the Zhou father and son very angry. Their Zhou clan was very strong as a whole, and they wished that they could gather all their wolf riders to fight their way to the Ji tribe to snatch the man. Of course, they only had this kind of thought. Ji tribe had such a good relationship with the Jiang clan right now, and with such a powerful warrior, if the Zhou clan were to fight with the Ji tribe, it would definitely not end well for them. After settling this matter, Ji Yuelan heaved a sigh of relief. She was still a little worried that Zhou Lai would cause heavy casualties in the Ji tribe for her. Now that Xianxia had settled the matter, and even informed the Jiang clan about it, if Ji tribe is in trouble, the Jiang clan will definitely come to her aid. Previously, Xianxia and Ji Yuelan were even better, as they prepared to explore the depths of the Stone Mountain. At the same time, they would hunt some of the savage beasts to collect their beast cores, but they were delayed in doing so. Yulan, I think you should stay here. Xianxia took out a Tao God Emperor Yuan Dan and gave it to Ji Yuelan. This was something that he had refined using the crash method. Ji Yuelan wanted to go with her, but she also saw that Xianxia's strength was much higher than hers. Xianxia was worried that she wouldn't be able to handle any accidents when the time comes, since the Stone Mountain was rather dangerous. Ji Yuelan nodded. Eat this and rest for a while. It will help you. Xianxia gave her a Tao God Emperor Yuan Dan. Directly, Ji Yuelan received it and looked at it. Previously, Xianxia had told her that this was a pill, but she had never eaten it before. Yes, just eat it. After you eat it, rest in your room and you will understand. Xianxia said. Ji Yuelan also didn't know what use this would have, but the things Xianxia gave her would definitely be of great help to her. She sent him off the Ji tribe, and then watched him leave with her eyes. Xianxia ran towards that stone mountain and quickly reached the center of the mountain range. He then climbed to the top of a mountain and looked into the depths of the mountain. Hopefully there will be a big discovery. The demons in the heavenly evil world might have already entered the natural law divine realm. I need to quickly return. Xianxia was worried about this matter the whole time. The Jiang Dao power that he cultivated in had a very strong killing power towards the demons, and with its strengthening, killing the demons would be as easy as cutting grass. What exactly is this primitive land hiding? Xianxia ran down from the top of the mountain. After arriving on the ground, he walked with light footsteps into the depths of the mountain range. He had been extremely careful along the way and followed the instructions Ji Yuelan gave him to look around to see if there were any signs of beasts. Along the way, Xianxia discovered quite a few traces of savage beasts having walked past, but he had not met any savage beasts. This was already the first time he had been inside the Stone Mountain for 2 days. Previously, they had only met a group of huge bears outside the Stone Mountain. However, Xianxia had entered the Stone Mountain for 2 days now, which was equivalent to entering deep into the mountain. Why can't the primitive land fly? If only he could fly. Xianxia looked at the sky. If he could fly, he would be able to find a savage beast faster. He had 2 main reasons for coming here. One was to hunt for beast cores, and the other was to probe the depths of this place to see if he could find a way out. He felt that there was a source of energy for the primitive land inside. Just when he was trying to locate the savage beast with its footprints, he finally made a discovery. It's the traces of a fight. It seems like 2 big guys fought here. Xianxia saw a small mountain collapsing, and the ground here was cracking due to the immense force. After seeing this, he was sure that there were savage beasts nearby, and they might even be injured in battle. This way, he could avoid being overheard by the savage beasts. Otherwise, the moment the savage beasts were alerted, it would be difficult for him to hunt them down. When hunting beasts, Xianxia could use the 9 soaring sky divine bow to attack from afar. It was very easy to succeed, but most of the time, the beasts had to miss him. After searching for an hour, Xianxia finally found a savage beast. That fellow isn't injured. Seems like the savage beast he has targeted is quite weak, and he managed to kill it. Xianxia took out the 9 soaring sky divine bow and looked at the distant black rhinoceros that was as big as a hill. This rhinoceros was using its steel teeth to bite down on a giant bear. This fellow is really cruel when it comes to eating meat. Xianxia suddenly saw a bead drop out from the giant bear that was bitten into pieces. That was the beast core. Xianxia knocked an arrow and pulled the bow open, aiming straight at the rhinoceros's head. "It's all mine." Xianxia let go of the bow and shot the arrow out. Just as it was about to pierce through the head of the rhinoceros, the black rhinoceros moved. "Motherfucker. This is too much of a coincidence." Xianxia cursed in his heart. He anxiously pulled on his bow and shot another arrow, just as the rhinoceros was charging towards him. With a swoosh, Xianxia's arrow rhinoceros pierced its eyes. The huge black rhinoceros also caused brain damage on the ground, which was very fatal for savage beasts. Xianxia heaved a sigh of relief, then went over and collected the rhinoceros's corpse as well as picked up the bear. The ground was filled with blood. All of it was beast blood, and it reeked of blood. Just as Xianxia was about to get rid of the blood, he suddenly felt the ground trembling. "This is bad." Xianxia was shocked. This type of vibration meant that there was a beast herd approaching, which was usually a large beast herd with a large number of beasts. Just as he was about to feel the ground trembling, the herd of beasts had arrived. It was a group of gigantic savage beasts that were running on their 2 feet. They looked like prehistoric dinosaurs. The quantity was very large, and their front claws were agile, their fingers as sharp as swords. "There are over 100. I better run." Before, Xianxia thought that he only had around 10 to 20, that way he could give it a try. But now that he saw so many of them, he anxiously ran. Xianxia could not teleport, and the dragon beast chasing after him from behind was about the same speed as him. If this continued, who knew how long he would be chased? Furthermore, this mountain was relatively flat, so even if there were some larger rocks, they would be easily broken by this group of dragon beast. "Sorry for the trouble. This isn't a good way to go on." Xianxia was secretly worried. With this group of dragon beast, the commotion caused would definitely attract the attention of the other beasts hiding here. Sure enough, after an hour of pursuit, he sensed a roar that sounded like a wolf's howl coming from the front. Hopefully, this isn't a bad thing. The dragon beast in the future might even start fighting with the group of wolves. Xianxia had already seen the pack of wolves up ahead. There were a few hundred of them, and all of them were gigantic, snow-white white wolves. Xianxia immediately rushed towards the pack of wolves, and then leaped into the air with great force. It was only at this moment that he saw the wolf pack below had already started fighting with the pack of dragon beast, causing him to heave a sigh of relief. "If only I could use the power of space." Xianxia looked down at the dragon beast that had fallen out of the beast cores bitten by the wolves and thought to himself that at this time, he had already climbed onto the top of a mountain and was thinking of ways to get hold of those beast cores. Just as Xianxia was looking down at the chaotic battle, he suddenly saw a black figure jumping around inside. This made him almost cry out in alarm. Who was this person? Xianxia's heart was filled with questions.